What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So it's Friday, it's the weekend, we made it, congratulations, and if we have a look at what's going on, we have a lot of the top coins in the green. Now, some of the lower cap altcoins are not feeling the love today. As you can see, there is a lot of red behind me, but Bitcoin, we smashed a new 2019 all-time high. We've pulled back a little bit. Very interesting, though. I mean, we literally just touched basically resistance. We're going to get into that. So we're getting close, and by the end of this weekend, we might figure out whether or not we are going to see that 10K Bitcoin or whether we're going to see this crazy 30% to 40% pullback that a lot of people are talking about. I still do think that we need some form of a correction, but I'm not so sure if it's going to be coming with this 10K level, but we're going to discuss it. And one thing that I thought was really interesting was actually looking at what we had done previously in 2013 and the last time that we had started to approach the previous all-time high. And I want to look at how Bitcoin reacted then. Not saying that we'll react exactly the same way, but I think it'll help us to sort of understand where we're at in the grand scheme of things. So if that sounds good to you, well, you know what to do. Also, if it's your first time checking out the Crypto Zombie channel and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? We do this every single day. Also, we do a Ledger Nano S giveaway every single Monday for anyone that's new to the channel. Now, let's give this a quick refresh live. Now, see, here's the thing. Bitcoin dominance is still going up, 57.9%. We're up 0.2% since I just woke up this morning. And if we look at this market cap right here, we are looking like we're going to breach this $300 billion market cap. So, I mean, the markets are looking great, guys. A lot of these top altcoins are up, as you can see right here. If we go over to some of the other pages, as we get lower, you'll notice you're seeing more of the red. And, obviously the one thing I do want to mention is switching to Bitcoin comparative, because you always want to know whether or not it would have made more sense to simply just hold Bitcoin, right? So if we switch it to Bitcoin, you notice actually a lot of these are in red, which is telling me that Bitcoin is the one that is rallying. It is the one that's leading the markets. Everyone has their eyes on it. Right now, it's going to be a tough situation for the altcoins because everyone is just wondering whether or not Bitcoin is going to break that 10K level. And until we get either, rejected or we blast through it, I do think that the altcoin markets are going to be a little bit shaky right now. So I'm just being honest with you guys. That's probably what's going to happen. Now, if we have a look here, look at this ascending broadening wedge we've been talking about. My goodness, isn't technical analysis so crazy how it just works out sometimes? I know a lot of it is fundamental, but I love when the chart actually works out. So as you can see right here, we basically exactly touch this point and we are having some resistance, right? This is to be expected. Now, obviously, we have to get the bearish scenario out of the way. If we were to fall down, we may be caught by this sort of middle support that we've had. We've had a lot of it back here and right here. So that might bring us down to around 99,200, okay? Obviously, we're still looking to close the CME caps all the way down to 8,500. And I mean, if you still think we're going down to 7,200 to close the gap, it's possible. I mean, anything is possible in Bitcoin. I mean, if everyone's saying we're supposed to hit a 30% pullback, well, let's just see before we start looking at some of these key levels we need to take out right here. So if we start up here and we come all the way down to the bottom of this channel, I mean, yeah, you're looking at basically a 27% pullback. So that would be in the cards with some of these 30% pullbacks that we've seen in the past. I'm actually going to show you one in just a second, so definitely stick around for that. But does that mean that we have to dump 30%? No. Why? We don't have to do anything. We could just keep going straight up. There's really nothing stopping us right now except for this resistance, right? But the interesting thing, and the one thing that I did consider to be somewhat bullish, was we originally had this support right here that was holding us up basically back from around May 11th until we fell down June 3rd, and we couldn't get back above it since then. But once we did, we were riding along it, right? It was acting as resistance. I mean, we hit it multiple times, and finally we broke through. Now, the one thing that's interesting is now that we're sitting above it, we are coming to this crucial point where this wedge, I mean, we're getting right to that point. I mean, this level right here, this actually isn't the 10K level. This is actually 9,900 because actually that was more significant. We've talked about that. But point being, we're going to be there, by this weekend, within the next 2 days. So you're going to be seeing, that's why I said we're either going to know or we're not. Trend is your friend until the end. Why wouldn't we keep going up? I don't know. But then again, there may be some slick traders out there who want to cash, they want to short. They've been riding Bitcoin since it was $3,100 and they want to take some profits off the table. So that is a possibility. However, now let's look on the positive side, okay? Let's look at some key levels that we need to break, we need to break right here. So obviously I have the charts pulled up, but we've already talked about this. I just want to base it on some of the levels that we had during the cycle of 2017 and 2018. So you can see, obviously, we've breached this first one right here, and this was that $8,300 level where we had a lot of difficulty right here, and right here. So we're good. That one, we're totally good. The next one, which is this yellow line, I don't really have to talk much about. It's technically a little bit below 10,000. It's like 9,900 something, but let's just say 10K because realistically, I think that's what everybody's looking at. And the next one, if we were to break above 10K, the next spot that we would have some difficulty is actually around 11,500. And I want to tell you why. Not only did we have some resistance right here during these peaks, back in February and March of 2018, we also had this right here in January. But look at this. When we were initially trying to break through, remember I keep talking about these Darth Maul wicks that we had right here? The first wick that we had, when we finally broke above that $9,900 level that I told you is the one we really need to break above, we wicked all the way up to this $11,500 level. And I think that's sort of what set that precedent for that level. So that's why I think if we do break above 10K and we do continue upwards, then 11,500, I think is going to really be that next difficult level. But the other thing too that you got to keep in mind is volume, okay? We're going to need volume to get us all the way up there. Now, on-chain FX, I checked it out this morning. It was about 1.4 billion for Bitcoin. It may be a little bit higher right now, so that's good. That's good volume. And if that volume can maintain, especially over the weekend, then I think we will break through 10K. But here's the thing. I wanted to talk about what could potentially happen, right? I want to talk about what's going to happen when we break 20K, and I want to talk about just short term what could happen with 10K. Well, not that history will repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So this right here represents the top of the 2013 bull market, okay? Depending on what chart you look at, it was roughly around $1,175. It might be different depending where you look, but let's just take that number, right? So, you figure right here, half is around 587, give or take, all right? These numbers aren't precise. I'm just rounding them sort of to give you an idea. So basically, this dotted line right here would represent half of the all-time high, which is what we're looking at right now, except it was a lot lower back then. Bitcoin was, only $1,000, right? So if this was to be true, then what happened when Bitcoin, started to reapproach halfway to the all-time high? Well, I mean, with the exception of, maybe this right here, this little struggle, really didn't provide much of an issue. I mean, you could see right here, it had a little bit of resistance for a couple days, broke out of it, fell down for about a second, but I mean, for the most part, didn't really affect Bitcoin that much. Now you can see we did have, now these are why I say these corrections can happen, because, once we did eventually break that, we did rally up about 34%. And, we had a subsequent dump of about 37%. So that basically just wiped everything clear. But what I really wanted to talk about was what happened when we approached the previous all-time high. And the first time that we did that was right here. Let me make this scale a little bit bigger so you guys could see. So basically, that was right here. And that was on January 5th of 2017. And you could see what happened. We basically came up to that all-time high. And I think this is why everyone, now keep in mind, this is if we were to go to the all-time high. This is not 10K. Halfway didn't phase us at all. Nothing really happened. I mean, there was a little bit of a shakeout kind of up and down, but it really didn't do much. But the big one was when we broke above the 20K, or excuse me, the initial high, which was around 1,175. And then we had a plummet 36%, and that was in just a week. Okay, so that was basically what happened the last time we breached the all-time high. But as you can see after that, well, I mean, I don't have to tell you guys what happened. We pretty much climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed. And you guys know what happened. We hit an all-time high. So that's basically what I'm saying. So do I think this $10,000 level, if it was to play out like the previous cycle, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Yeah, but you never know. Times are different now. So the real key level is going to be the 20K level when we eventually hit it. But I wanted to talk about what VA Boyapati posted over here. Now, I thought that he really broke this down. Great. I think this is one of the best. Actually, you know what? I'm going to retweet this right now. I'm going to retweet this on my Twitter right now. That's how much I like this. So he says that, we are in the early stages of a new Bitcoin bull market. I think at this point, we can all agree the bottom is in. I mean, does anybody out there really think the bottom's not in? Let me know. I'd love to hear the argument. So he talks about the beginning. Now, obviously, this is a very long tweet. I'm not going to go into it, but man, there are some valuable points this guy makes. He says bull markets start off relatively slow because of an overhang of potential supply. Firstly, some who bought at higher prices in the prior cycle are looking to be made whole so they can escape their positions. Now, don't forget, there's some people that have been holding on. A lot of people sold for losses, but there are some people who maybe bought Bitcoin around 10K, 11K that have just been waiting to get back to that level so they could just sell, break even, and just get out of this crazy crypto world. I just can't take it anymore. I just want to break even. We're going to have that. We're also potentially going to have people, when we hit that 20K, that bought at the all-time high. Once again, don't forget, there were people that were buying 18, 19, maybe, somebody bought the top, right? And I would assume that they're going to want to, be made whole again. Now, he does say in a bear market, good news does not matter, right? When we were going down in 2018, we had all this good news coming out. Nothing could save the price of Bitcoin, right? However, the opposite happens in a bull market. In a bull market, you can't be swayed by bad news, right? Look at all these regulations and things happening in the US, and Binance got hacked, and Tether, we had the Tether printing FUD and all that other stuff, right? Tether was only backed 74% for every dollar. Bitcoin just kept going up, right? So that's something that can definitely signify that we are, or signal, I should say, that we are in a bull market. So he basically says, once the prior all-time high is breached, there is no longer an overhang of supply. This price is free to run in the open wild. Once a new Bitcoin all-time high is made, new highs trigger a feeding frenzy. Media attention is going to return. It's going to be all over the place. Remember when Bitcoin was at its all-time high before? I couldn't not see it on TV. The Big Bang Theory was talking about it. Saturday Night Live was making jokes about Bitcoin. Obviously, it was all over the news, right? You had The Daily Show was talking about it, right? So it's going to happen again. And I seem to have lost my place here. So yeah, basically frenzy, media attention, new events. You're going to have people coming in. Prices eventually reach a crescendo top. Bitcoin's price goes parabolic, right? And don't forget, a lot of those gains are made in a very short period of time, okay? Basically, he says the last $5,000 of appreciation in the previous bull happened in just a matter of days, and we've gone over this. In fact, to go from when we were like 8,500 or whatever it was, the last time we checked to the all-time high was only 3 weeks. So you could see how fast Bitcoin can start to move, especially when we get to these 10K levels. This thing can really, really start to move, right? So don't get left behind, guys. Imagine how many people are sitting behind, just sitting on the sidelines, and didn't buy Bitcoin when it was 4 figures, and now it's going to be 10K. So, like he says right here, this is how he ends it. Very few people correctly anticipate how high the market will go, and most will be shocked by the final peak. This is the bull market when Bitcoin achieves geopolitical significance, so everyone will be watching. The feeding frenzy may be like nothing we've ever seen before. Guys, and don't forget, yesterday we did that math and we figured out how many users were on the Facebook, using Facebook, 2.5 billion. And if each one of those people wanted just a piece of the pie of Bitcoin, there would only be 0.0085 Bitcoin just for everyone on Facebook, okay? And that doesn't include all the Bitcoin that's lost forever. It's a very scarce asset, guys. And fundamentally speaking, I know you might not be able to see this above my head right here, but we have just hit another all-time high for Bitcoin hash rate. This means the miners are mining. This is great. The network is secure. The price is going up. Everything that could possibly be going good for Bitcoin is going good right now. Bitcoin close to 10,000. Gold above 1,400. Central banks cutting rates. Fiat currencies, are they starting to just race to the bottom? Well, guys, Max Kaiser, you may be familiar with him from the Kaiser report. He said that the Deutsche Bank would be the most likely of the banks to go bankrupt and will probably require a bailout like major banks did in 2008 and 2009, which, what happened in 2008 and 2009? I wonder what could have been created during those years. Anyway, sitting on half of a quadrillion worth of worthless derivatives that, if you mark to market, would be greater than 5 times the global GDP. This is in fact the beginning of Lehman 2.0, as he puts it. He says this is why Bitcoin, which is the virtual digital version of gold, no matter what Peter Schiff says. Kaiser also argued that there was an eco-holocaust and an economic genocide incoming, and that Bitcoin and gold were the safest bet in such an economic climate. Since Bitcoin is an uncorrelated asset and it bets against fiat currencies, the price will most certainly rise. Now, guys, listen, I'm not like begging for an economic crisis here. I live in the United States. I don't want there to be a global financial meltdown. Trust me. I'm not rooting for it, but hey, I do want to be prepared in the event that it happens. And that's personally why I, have hedged so much of, my portfolio into Bitcoin, clearly. Now, I know, I said we weren't going to talk about Facebook, but how can you ignore this damn coin? It's everywhere. So now it looks like that their rollout of Libra could have some issues with India. Now, we know India's had some problems, right? Now, they say Facebook has not filled any application with the Reserve Bank of India for its cryptocurrency. Of course, this is according to an anonymous source, our favorite sources, right? The anonymous source said that Calibra may be excluded from markets where cryptocurrencies are banned or Facebook is restricted from operating in. So anyone out there in India, any of my Indian friends out there, can you guys let me know? Because I know it's always a little cloudy to get the truth out here, especially how this fake news can spread. So just let me know what's going on with that. Also, side note, apparently these guys from Current are saying that Calibra stole their logo. They do look similar, but it's also not like that complex of a logo. It's like McDonald's saying somebody stole an M. You know what I mean? As long as it doesn't look like the golden arches. I mean, it's just what do you guys think? I mean, do you think that you honestly think that Facebook deliberately stole from Current? I don't know. It's possible, right? Now, this is funny. So somebody was comparing Libra to Farmville Cash. And it was funny. They were saying, Libra Cash, you don't get a $5 bonus. You can't anonymously purchase it. It's not fun, Libra. You can't buy a whole farm. Maybe you could if you had enough. And it's purchasable with Bitcoin. So I don't know. This is kind of funny. Somebody just made this, just entertaining it. But as Hammond said, Libra has low volatility and is going to be a value store over short term. STOs, whether on Libra or other blockchains, are still a bit far. I don't know about altcoins, but Bitcoin seems to be a winner here as long-term holder of value. Libra will just cement its position. And like we said yesterday, Libra is not competing with Bitcoin. The only thing Libra is going to do is open up the floodgates for people to just get into the digital currency world. We said that one of the most difficult things of getting into cryptos is the barrier to entry. Setting up a wallet, getting KYC, obtaining your first Bitcoin. Once you're in, it's a breeze. How easy is it to just transfer all around the crypto ecosystem, right? So that's something definitely worth noting. Interestingly enough, it looks like eToro actually has conducted a successful trial of issuing a tokenized asset on Facebook's Libra protocol. This is interesting. So according to a GitHub repository detailing its activities, eToro X, the firm's recently launched innovation and research offshoot, managed to debut its e-token on Libra. So there you go. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be an altcoin holocaust, okay? I'm just saying that some of the altcoins may potentially be rendered useless. Not all of them. Most of them, okay? So you had Brad Garlinghouse. That's not Brad Garlinghouse in the picture, by the way, but Brad Garlinghouse said, he's the CEO of Ripple, by the way, if you don't know, that they actually had a record week for the company in terms of contract signings in light of Facebook's emergence. And, some people were saying, well, I think, XRP could be in trouble because Facebook may be trying to sort of take over what they're doing, right? But he actually said that this week will probably be the best week for signing contracts. He says it's been a massive call to action because Facebook kind of came out and said, we don't need Western Union anymore. Well, if you're a bank, then you are Western Union. You kind of go, that's interesting. He says, I think the banks realize if Facebook's going to be a competitor in the space, they can't depend on technologies like Swift. So short term could potentially be good. We'll have to keep our eyes on that for all of the XRP army out there, right? Okay, now here is interesting. Now, I've known about this for a very long time, never spoke about it on the channel because I really hadn't had a need to. This is Algorand. Very, very, very hyped project, very good tech. Some people have compared it to Cosmos, and it looks like that they're going to be listed on Binance. Now, I'm not going to lie, guys. I tried my damnedest to get into this. I tried anyway. I know I'm a U.S. citizen. I mean, I talked to all, I knew this token was going to skyrocket. But yeah, what are you gonna do? So it's up about 48x. They had a private Dutch style auction, as you can see right here. So here's the interesting thing. They were selling for a whopping $2.40. So considering the fact that ALGO tokens grow every year for 5 years until it hits about 10 billion, the calculations suggest that the implied market cap of ALGO tokens would be 24 billion. That's if you were to multiply the total supply once it eventually came out, which, would put it only $4 billion below Ethereum, which would basically make it the third largest crypto in the world. So yeah, that would be pretty insane. As you guys can see right here, it's up 22.8%. Yeah, $3 now. So it's $2.40 at the time of writing that. And you can see it's been going up. I mean, currently at the market cap of only 84 billion, if people are comparing this to Cosmos, which is at a $1.5 billion market cap, well, there might be some potential gains to be made. However, I don't know the terms of the lockup, and I don't know what these investors will do. I mean, a coin that's up 48x and it's up another 20%, so you're well over 50x on your initial investment. I would assume there'd be some heavy dumping, so I don't know when these tokens get unlocked, but I would keep our eyes on that for sure. Not saying that it's not going to do well. Not saying that Algorand's not going to do well. I think Algorand is going to do very well. But yeah, so that was just something I wanted to bring up. Also, new website for Shelly, testnet, is rolling out. You can check it out right here for all my Cardano fans. And yes, yesterday I actually mentioned this, that Mithril and Raven Protocol are having a hot pot challenge. So this is basically a trading competition. Where was it right here? One of the best things in here was they were like, if you win, you have to... Oh, here you go. Wait, where is it? Oh, somewhere in here it was like, if you win, you absolutely have to... Is it right here? To celebrate, we are giving... Oh, here you go. You must use your winnings to get yourself a big hot pot and ice cold BN beer. So I just thought that was funny that they're having fun with that. But yeah, if you guys are interested, the trading competition, they're giving away, I believe it's, 25 million Raven. So check that out if you guys are interested for sure. But obviously, we know the real altcoin that everyone's got their eyes on is clearly Buzzcoin from Honey Nut Cheerios. So we're gonna... All right, guys, that's enough. I'm keeping this video short today. It's Friday. Go out, enjoy the weekend. Let's have a look at our good old buddy. What is... Oh, that is not the chart. Yeah, we're getting stomped out by that resistance, so we'll keep our eyes on it, but we were kind of expecting this, but yeah, we could potentially have a 10K Bitcoin by this weekend, or we could get, we could have a little bit of a shakeout, retest some of these levels, but I'm not bearish, guys. I mean, even if we were to come all the way down here and test, back down to 8K, we would still be supported by the channel. So, long story short, obviously, Bitcoin has its swings. Yes, there's a 30% pullback potential in the future, but yeah, so that being said, no reason to harp on it, guys. It's been a pleasure and honor to be going through this start of the bull run with you. I hope that you got your seatbelt strapped on and you're ready for the moon, because that's exactly where we're going. I can't wait for next year and the year after that. And you guys know I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here making videos every single day because this is what I love to do. And I love hanging out with you guys. So thank you so much. Also, friendly reminder, we do have the Ledger Nano S giveaway. And I wanted to just give a shout out to everyone that's been supporting the channel using the referral links below. That actually helps me out. That's how I'm able to continue doing this. If you guys haven't tried out the Bybit margin trading, leverage trading, be safe. But we've been having a great time with that. Brave browser as well, if you guys are sick of all these ads on the videos. I also do have a Ledger Nano S referral. So, but you guys